Hold City Hall, we need more sleep! Hold tight!
Osmosis Jones to dispatch.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Film Vault, where today we're going to be diving into 20 crazy facts about the bizarre and underrated 2001 movie Osmosis Jones. We'll have a look at everything from the deleted scenes to the hidden adult jokes and the shocking casting changes. This movie had one of the wildest productions of any animated film from the early 2000s. Did you know Will Smith was originally supposed to play Ozzy? Why was most of the animation finished before the Farrelly brothers joined the project? And how did the movie secretly turn into a Matrix-inspired action film inside of the human body? But before we get into the city of Frank, make sure to like and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes movie facts and countdowns like this. Now, let's get into it. Number 20. Will Smith was actually the first choice to voice Osmosis Ozzy Jones in the movie, long before Chris Rock came on board. In early 1999, Smith would be attached to the role, and the character was actually written with him in mind. The screenwriter Mark Hyman even admitted that they were developing it for Smith. The idea was to make Ozzy a cool and confident white blood cell with a strong personality, but Will Smith had to leave because of scheduling conflicts. He had been busy working on other projects, like the 2001 movie Ali. After he left, Chris Rock came in to give the character a new vibe, and producer Zach Penn explained how they shifted Ozzy from being a very tough and almost Clint Eastwood-type cop to more of an underdog with Rock's voice. They leaned into his style, making Ozzy relatable and funny in a brand new way.
You up Spit Creek without a paddle. Don't get me mad, because I will turn into a germicidal maniac.
Number 19. By the time that Peter and Bobby Farrelly had joined the project to direct the live-action scenes, the animation part was 80% complete. It all began in June of 1999 with the animation team, which included directors Tom Cito and Piet Kroon and production designer Steve Pilcher, being hard at work. They had already built the city of Frank, animated most of Ozzy and Drix's thrilling adventures, and even mapped out every exciting action sequence. Zach Penn said the animation was 80% complete when the Farrelly brothers and their live-action crew came onto the project.
Here you are and wait for backup.
But I can get him.
I said stay put. Over.
You heard the chief. We're out of our jurisdiction.
Number 18. The Farrelly brothers are credited as directors of the film. Their names were front and center on the marquee, and they even got award nominations for directing. But they only handled about 25% of the movie. That small portion was the live-action scenes, and the rest was directed by animation experts Piet Kroon and Tom Cito. If you check the credits, they're listed as animation directed by, yet the Farrelly brothers received the main credit. It turns out the decision was all about marketing. The Farrelly brothers had become big names after their hit movie There's Something About Mary in 1998, and it was known that their name could sell tickets, while Kroon and Cito were not widely known. According to their contract, the Farrellys had to be credited as the primary directors, even though most of the film was not their work, and when people walked into the theater, they thought they were watching a Farrelly brothers movie. But in reality, it was mostly the vision of two animators who were working behind the scenes.
Well, I know you wanted to go on a trip this weekend, so ta-da!
Number 17. Lawrence Fishburne, the same actor who played Morpheus in The Matrix just 2 years earlier, voiced the villain Thrax. Its entire look was inspired by Morpheus, and animators gave him a long black coat, small dark sunglasses, and a sleek, confident style. He moved with a calm and dangerous swagger that was impossible to ignore, and it was revealed that they wanted him to look more scary and realistic, and not silly like other cartoon villains. The final fight between Thrax and Ozzy pulls off a full Matrix-style bullet time effect. The camera circles the two characters mid-jump as time slows down, just like in the iconic sci-fi film. It was a clever decision, especially since The Matrix Reloaded was being made that same year. Number 16. Zach Penn and Mark Hyman had dreamt of a hard-edged action movie, and Zach even once explained that the original pitch is that it shouldn't be silly, it should be like Men in Black or something. Mark added in even more vision, saying that it should feel like a Joel Silver, Walter Hill movie inside of the human body. Their plan was to create a scary world. The human body would look like a broken-down city, kind of like San Francisco in the 1970s. And even Drix, one of the main characters, was not supposed to be funny. Zack had asked designers to make him look more like RoboCop. Thrax was designed to feel more like a dangerous, anime-style character. He wasn't meant to be silly or even goofy like in other cartoons. But the movie took a turn when the Farrellys came on board and brought their signature gross-out humor, turning the live-action parts into something that was totally different. Number 15. Drix wasn't always the hovering pill that you see in the movie. At first, he had legs and looked more like a human being. The early design showed him walking around with a full body, but the team wanted him to feel more serious, like someone in charge. To make him different, they decided that he should be floating instead of walking. They used a maglev system to give him his look, and the final design was a simple pill shape without legs and seemed to work better. Animator Piet Kroon said that simple shapes are easier to animate well, and the idea followed a classic rule from Walt Disney about character design. Thrax had a different story as well. Originally, his name was going to be Weekon. An early concept showed him with 3 legs, a sharp and pointy head, and a bigger, more virus-like body, but the villain took on a darker and cooler vibe after producer Zack Penn stepped in. He pushed hard to make Thrax seem scary, almost like a character from an intense anime. The final look would be a mixture of different ideas that had evolved through several changes.
Man, what you been getting?
That's my effervescent propulsion.
All right.
Number 14. 2 of the biggest names in Hollywood made surprising cameos in 2001, and most viewers didn't even notice. Ron Howard was famous for having directed hits like Apollo 13 and How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and he lent his voice to Tom Kalanick. He's the reform-driven opponent of Mayor Fleming, promising to clean out the city of Frank in the movie. Howard's role was so small that a lot of people missed it completely, even though his name shows up in the credits.
I'm Tom Kalanick. As mayor, I would set long-term goals that include ordering salads and eating bran.
Joel Silver, the producer behind action blockbusters like Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, and The Matrix, also snuck into the film. He voiced the no-nonsense police chief who happens to be Ozzy's boss. However, Silver wasn't even credited for his role. The idea of a legendary producer voicing a tough animated cop inside of the human body is just wild.
Have you seen the headlines? The papers are calling it the most powerful cramp since Shane made us try that Tae Bo workout.
Number 13. When the original version of the film would be first rated by the MPAA in 2000, it received a PG-13 rating because of crude language and bodily humor. But Warner Brothers had already marketed the movie as a family film and suddenly realized that families would not be able to take their children to see it. Warner Brothers went all in, completely reworking the movie to make it suitable for a younger audience, and the studio held over 7 test screenings to get the rating down to PG. During these tests, parents did not like some of the grosser or more adult jokes, and even the Farrelly brothers agreed that some of them crossed the line. Zack Penn said that they had toned down the gross-out moments, and Piet Kroon mentioned they had to cut some jokes about adult topics, like one that involved sperm, even though they thought that they were really funny. After all those changes, the movie was finally given the PG rating in 2001, just in time for its release. Number 12. The Farrelly brothers loved to film in places that nobody had used before, and that brought them to Plymouth, Massachusetts. Bobby Farrelly shared with the local press in September of 2000 that it was so beautiful that nobody had ever shot a film there, and it's something that they would like to do. For the live-action scenes, they had to have a very specific house. It had to be a front porch with exactly 4 steps, and after searching, they found the perfect fit at 15 Oak Street, a bungalow that was owned by Diana and Arthur Budge. It all began when Diana was outside gardening one day. A Warner Brothers location scout approached her asking if they could use the house. At first, she couldn't believe it and thought that a joke was being played on her, but it turned out to be true, and Arthur admitted the porch was exactly what they needed for the movie. The couple agreed, and soon Bill Murray himself was filming scenes there. And so, from April to June of 2000, their home would become part of movie history.
Yeah! Oh! Oh! Oh!
What's wrong?
Oh! Oh, it's a cramp.
Number 11. The germ band performing in the Zit nightclub was called Kidney Rock, a fictional version of Kid Rock's real-life band. Twisted Brown Trucker. Kid Rock voiced the lead germ, but his longtime hype man Joe C had a special role as well. Born Joseph Kalea, Joe C lent his voice to the germ sidekick, a tiny green four-legged character. He had celiac disease, a condition which kept his height at just 3'9", and that meant that he had to have daily dialysis. Joe C recorded the song Cool Daddy Cool and his scenes before the film was released, and tragically on November 16th of 2000, only 7 days after his 26th birthday, he would pass away in his sleep at his home in Taylor, Michigan from complications of the disease. His role in Kidney Rock became his final public performance, and the movie hit theaters August 10th of 2001, 9 months after his death.
They like to call me Daddy Cool when I'm styling, just rolling on the island. I'm cool, Daddy Cool.
Number 10. The Pikachu doll may be one of the most surprising cameos in Osmosis Jones. During the scene where Ozzy tries to stop Drix from leaving Frank's body, you can spot a germ in the background holding a big Pikachu doll. At first it may seem like a random joke, but Warner Brothers also distributed the Pokemon anime on Kids WB in the early 2000s, and this little detail connects to the height of Pokemania, when Pokemon was hugely popular. 7 years after its release in 2008, scientists found a special protein in the human eye, and they named it Pikachurin, inspired by Pokemon's famous electric mouse Pikachu. The protein plays an important role in sending electrical signals from the retina's photoreceptors, making the name a perfect match.
Yo, Drix!
Jones?
Get your time release butt off this boat. Thrax is alive. Come on, let's go.
Number 9. The most grown-up joke in the movie hides right in plain sight. Somewhere in the city of Frank, there's a statue that might make you do a double take. It's shaped like a sperm cell. Underneath is a plaque that reads "Our Founder," and most kids would miss it entirely, but adults in the audience would catch it and chuckle. A fun fact is that the joke almost didn't make the final cut. The film began as a PG-13 story but had to be toned down to land the PG rating. The background details survived through 7 test screenings and even the strict MPAA review process. There was supposed to be even more scenes with jokes like this, but they were removed. It was revealed that a gym called Gonad's Gym was part of the original story. Ozzy and Drix were going to meet sperm cells who were working out there, and the entire sequence and other innuendos had to be cut because they were deemed to be too mature. The name Gonad's Gym does still sneak into a logo that's stamped on Drix's suitcase in the police station.
Mr. Mayor, do you have a plan to deal with the fat cell housing shortage?
I'd like to announce we're beginning construction on a third chin.
Number 8. In the original version, there was supposed to be a 3-minute car chase set inside the veins of the body, and it was going to be in 3D. Zach Penn had even once shared how excited he was about it, saying that he really wanted there to be car chases in the film. Cars would crash and flip over and land upside down on different veins, and the entire chase had been planned out, storyboarded, and even partially animated. But the Farrelly brothers wanted a funnier tone for the film, and because of that, the intense action did not make the final cut. Mark Hyman, the movie screenwriter, would explain the original draft had way more action scenes, which included the vein chase, but they were removed for both time and tone. The car chase is believed to still exist on a hard drive somewhere, partially finished, but never seen by the public.
And now, we go live to a high-speed chase in the superior Vena Cava Expressway.
Number 7. Mayor Fleming was written as a classic corrupt politician because he cared more about his campaign than doing the right thing. He would even put Frank's life in danger just to attend a campaign event. The casting of William Shatner was a purposeful joke, and Tom Cito said that the team had leaned into the classic cop movie archetype. There are characters that you've all seen before, like the angry sergeant or the career woman drawn to the tough guy, and Shatner had played Fleming in an exaggerated way. The real twist was the connection to Shatner's past. He had famously been known as Captain Kirk, a respected TV authority figure from Star Trek, and seeing him play a mayor inside of a slob's body was dripping with irony. The audience in 2001 could not ignore the joke. Shatner's performance would be fully committed, fitting right into the role with all of its dramatic flair that he had been known for. Interestingly enough, it would be just before his sport mode comedy phase on Boston Legal.
Words like exercise, low fat, and diet.
Number 6. David Hyde Pierce was juggling two big roles at the same time. When he voiced Drix in Osmosis Jones, he was also busy playing Niles Crane on Frasier. Niles had already earned him 3 Emmy Awards for his sharp and funny performance, and Drix's voice felt instantly familiar to fans. It had the same crisp and proper tone as Niles Crane. Even the animation team noticed how perfect the performance was. They called the Academy by the Book guy, which fit Niles' personality to a T. Critic Michael Schregal from the Baltimore Sun had called Pierce's take on Drix hilarious and praised him as a take-charge dose of medicine. And when viewers saw Osmosis Jones in 2001, they had already been watching Niles on TV every Tuesday night. It was as though they were hearing a character they already knew, but in an unexpected role.
Drix and All, the brand that eases your coughs and sneezes.
Number 5. Brandy Norwood voiced Leah Estrogen, and at the time she was a huge star. At age 21, she was at the top of her career. Her hit show Moesha had just wrapped its 6-season run, and her 1998 album Never Say Never had gone 5 times platinum thanks to her duet with Monica, The Boy Is Mine. If that wasn't enough, she'd also made history as the first African-American actress to play Cinderella in 1997's Cinderella alongside Whitney Houston. She had it all: the hit music, the TV fame, and a Disney crown. Yet somehow she had taken on this smaller role in an animated film. Zach Penn wanted real talent for the voices, and Brandy was exactly that. Even though Leah Estrogen was not a big role, her casting stood out as the kind of decision that only a big-budget movie could afford.
Jones, this ain't working out. I'm gonna call the chief and ask him to assign someone else.
Number 4. This movie would cost $70 million to make, but it was actually a flop. It came out August of 2001 in over 2,000 theaters, and on opening weekend it made just $5.27 million, ranking 7th at the box office. By the end of its run, it earned a measly $13.6 million in the US and $14 million worldwide. The studio ended up losing $56 million. The marketing chief, Brad Ball, admitted the failure in a memo, saying, "It is when, as is in the case of Osmosis Jones, that the weekend was such a complete rejection by the movie-going public that I say to myself, now what do I say?" Warner Brothers was already struggling with animation, and the movie was the tipping point. An animator shared in April of 2001 that the studio fired the president, Gene McCurdy, and had no upcoming projects lined up. Sadly, Warner Brothers Feature Animation only released one more movie after this disaster, Looney Tunes, back in 2003, which was also a failure. After that, the division would actually be shut down. Number 3. Even though the movie flopped at the box office, Warner Brothers had already made plans for an animated series, ordering 13 episodes before the movie's failure had been clear. Instead of canceling the project, they moved forward anyway. The show premiered on Kids WB September of 2002 and told a brand new story, running for 26 episodes across 2 seasons. The final episode would air in July of 2004, but the original stars did not return. Chris Rock and David Hyde Pierce were replaced. Phil Lamar took over for Rock, imitating his voice, while Jeff Bennett stepped in for Pierce, doing an impression as well. The setting had changed. Ozzy and Drix had left Frank's body after a mosquito sucked them out and ended up inside of a teenager named Hector. Bill Murray's Frank appeared briefly in the pilot through reused footage from the film. What makes Ozzy and Drix so special is that it became the only animated TV spin-off that was made by Warner Brothers Feature Animation. It was unique because the studio did not last long due to the original movie's failure. Number 2. Before the movie hit theaters, Warner Brothers and its partners had prepared an entire line of toy products. There were even action figures, t-shirts, keychains, and a snot slingshot that would actually shoot fake boogers. Prototypes for the items had been made and everything was ready to launch, but then the movie flopped at the box office during opening weekend. The toy line was completely canceled, and all that's left today are rare prototypes. Directors Peter and Bobby Farrelly were planning on a new project called Party Animals. It was going to be an adult comedy based on the book Frisco Pigeon Mambo with a screenplay by Seth MacFarlane. However, Osmosis Jones bombed, and the studio lost confidence in them when it came to working on animated films, and because of that, Party Animals was never made. Number 1. The production designer Steve Pilcher had a tough time because the movie flopped and the Warner Brothers feature animation department had been shut down. It was not his first setback, though. He had also worked on Quest for Camelot in 1998, another animated failure from Warner Brothers. 2 expensive flops in a row seemed to be the end of the road for him, but then he joined Pixar. While at Pixar, he turned things around in a big way. Steve Pilcher became the production designer for Brave in 2012. The Disney Pixar film had won the Oscar for Best Animated Feature, and he later worked on Soul in 2020, which also won the same Oscar, plus Best Original Score. His earlier work on Osmosis Jones had helped to shape the look of these award-winning films. Pilcher had used marble paper textures and bold colors and inspired the visual styles of Brave and Soul. Now be sure to smash that like button since I know you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe so that you always know when we upload another video like this one. If you have any suggestions, leave them down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.